everybody, welcome to The Colors of Beauty by Elle. I'm Isabel. Welcome back, and welcome all my new subscribers. Doing another car vlog today. I am going to my mom's house. It is her birthday, and I'm gonna take her out wherever she wants to go to eat. She's 86. I'm really happy that I still have my mom. Excited. So I'm gonna take her out and then see what she wants. If she wants me to get her anything or whatever, I'll get it for her. You know, whatever. So it is 102 and it is about 10:30 in the morning. Balmy 102 in the Valley of the Sun. I hope you guys are doing great. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to tell you something. I'm so freaking excited. I would be more excited, show you more excitement, but I can't because I'm driving and there's like officers everywhere, so I want to not like speed. And anyways, so there goes one right there. Did you see it? Anyways, so my husband says to me, he comes home from work and he says, I have to tell you something. I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, what? And he's like, sit down. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, what happened? I'm like thinking something happened. What? I said, are the kids okay? Did they call you? Because sometimes they'll call him and not me, or me and not him. He goes, no, everything's fine, he says, I wanted to keep it a secret, but I can't, because I think that you need to know about it so you can figure out things. And I'm like, what? And he goes, we're going to Venice. I'm like, what? He says, I got us a beautiful hotel in Venice, Austria, and we're going for a week, and I already bought the tickets and everything. I'm like, oh, holy cow in the man. Oh my God. I was like, what? I started crying, the ugly cry, because, we've always dreamed about going to fly international, but we've never done it. We've always stood in the U.S. So we've just dreamed about it. We would watch TV, say we're gonna go there someday. But this is a reality, you guys. I am like so freaking excited. I'm so excited. I was like looking at pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're going. I'm so excited, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you wear? What do you wear to Venice? So we're gonna go to Budapest, and it's gonna be so exciting, and all the different culture and the museums and the cathedrals and the chocolate and crystals, and oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. And I'm going to be taking an empty luggage so I can bring back some stuff from there. I'm like so happy. Have you guys ever been? Have any of you been to Venice, Austria? And at first I was like, oh my God, we're going to Australia. And he goes, no honey, no, not Australia, we're going to Austria. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. We're going to Austria. I was like so freaking excited. Oh my God. I'm like so happy, you guys. I'm so happy and excited. And I was like, oh my gosh. He goes, my husband's like, I wanted to surprise you, but I thought maybe you would want to know, because you got to, do the packing and figure out what you want to take And, you know, and he knows me. I am like the slowest person on the planet, you guys. I'm like really super slow. Well, not as slow as the guy in front of me who's driving like 50 on a 65. So I can't really pass him right now. But anyways, I'm like happy and excited and scared, and I don't even know what to expect. I have no idea what in the world to expect. I've never, you know, of course I've never been there. I don't know. Can you guys tell me if you've been there? Please let me know where I should go. What are the landmarks and stuff, you know, the nice places and stuff, the exciting things to see, to eat, you know, and I'm just super excited. Oh, you guys, I've always wanted to go there, you know. Well, you know, it's funny is that I don't know if I ever wanted to go to Venice per se, but I knew I wanted to go to like Europe. You know, is that in Europe? It is in Europe, right? Yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that's my exciting news. So, anyways, I hope nobody like, you know, like, hope we don't have like trouble on the plane or anything. I don't know what international flying is like. I know we're gonna be on a plane for like 16 hours, and you know, not in the same plane because we got to do transfers, but I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be in an international airplane. Do they serve you food? I don't know. I hope so. I'll be like all starving. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So I'm looking at this school over here that we have, and the other, like a couple of days ago, you know, we have like this community Facebook thing in my community, and people were like, you know, there was this teenager that was missing. She was a cheerleader. She is a cheerleader, and she told her mom she went out for a run, and she didn't come home for a long time. Like, she didn't come home. And so everybody was looking for her. We were looking for her, and finally they found her on top of the school, the high school roof. She was asleep or something. I guess somebody was chasing her, and so she decided, or you know, like a car or something was like chasing her or something. I think that's what happened. You know, that's just what my perception of the story is that she was running and she had to go on top of the roof or something to get away. And then so the helicopter found her and brought her back home, and she's in the, you know, she was in the hospital getting fluids and stuff because she got sunburn in her arm or whatever. So that's pretty scary, isn't it? That's a really scary thing when you're a kid and you have to run away from people. And she knew she ran on top of the roof of the school because she goes to that school, so she knew everything there, you know. And then she's an athlete there, so she knew her way around the school and everything. So that was pretty scary. And then that makes me think about when I was a kid. So I'm going to tell you guys a story time. It is story time. When I was about how old was I? I think I was about maybe 8. I was about 8 years old, and I went to the state fair with my mom and dad, and we were in a building looking at exhibits. You know those exhibits they have with the rocks and different the quilts and stuff like that, different stuff. Sorry about the glare. Anyways, so my dad was 2 exhibits down from me and my mom, because he wanted to go see something. My mom and I were looking at some, I don't know what we were looking at. I forget. But then, all of a sudden, we were just looking at stuff, looking at everything. And then all of a sudden, I feel this hand really gripping my arm. And I was a really, really tiny little girl when I was small. I was really skinny, really small, tiny girl. So somebody like grabbed me. He grabbed my arm and he pulled me. And I was like, I couldn't, because I don't know why, I just couldn't really react. I was like in shock or something, because I was 8, so. And I'm like, if I'm the type of person, if I get really super scared, I can't talk. so then I was like, so my mom turns around, she's like, she grabs my arm and she goes, "What are you doing?" And she's like, and people are trying to, like, they just turn around and look like, I don't know, maybe they thought that he was my dad or something. And then my dad comes because he hears my mom. And so my dad goes, and the guy, he actually lets go of my arm. And then at that point, I'm crying. And I'm holding on to my mom for dear life. And she's like, "Oh my God," just like, wiping my head, my face, wiping my, patting me, and doing this to my hair, "Are you okay?" My dad went to go chase the sorry. Anyways, he went to go chase the guy, and he couldn't catch him, but people couldn't catch him, whatever. And it was some guy that was trying to steal me. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? I can. It happened to me. It scared the hell out of me, people. It really, really did. Scared me so bad. I was like, oh my God. I think at that point, my mom was like, okay, you are not like leaving my sight, and she was like holding on to me. We locked arms, and I was like, "Mom," and my dad was all like, he was so mad. Because when something like that happens to your kid, all this testosterone comes up to the surface, and you're like, kill, So, yeah, and so I was like so scared. I was so scared. I mean, I couldn't talk for a little bit, but then I got okay because I was crying. So then I wanted, so my mom bought me whatever I wanted, and it was just so awful. It was bad. It was bad. It was not a good thing. So can you imagine though? I mean, it is really scary. Like, I mean, that, like, you see these kids like getting dragged out of a store and their mom trying to grab them and stuff. That really did happen to me. And I could totally relate with the child. And I can totally relate with the mom too. Because I was just like, oh my gosh. This happened to my daughter a long time ago. My oldest daughter. I think she was about 6 years old, and she was riding her bike in the front yard, and I was outside with her, and then down the street where we used to live a long time ago, there was this, I believe the car was white. It was a white car. I still remember the white car. And I kept telling my daughter, I says, "Elizabeth, come back." I says, "Honey, come back. Come over here. Come over here." So she started to go, and then the white car, like, I was watching her, and the white car like stopped right like on the road, like kind of like on the sidewalk, kind of, and he stopped right there, and he opened the door. He stretched over, and he opened the passenger door. And before he did that, I saw him stop, and I ran, and and then I picked up my daughter and ran back to the house. And I was like, oh hell no. I was so scared. Oh my God, it scared me so bad. And she was crying because she was 6, you know, and she's like, my bike. I go, I don't, just leave the bike there, honey. We'll get it, you know, we'll get it later. And it was like maybe 3 houses, no, about 2 houses down from where I lived. You know, because it was a really quiet neighborhood, I thought. You know, it was really quiet, and she was just, you know, barely learning how to ride her bike, so she was kind of like, you know, going on the sidewalk and everything, going slower, and I was watching her. But I was like, you can't trust people. You can't. So what I did was, the first thing I did was I called my husband. Why I didn't call the police first, I don't know. I was young. I was very, very young. I had my kids very young. And so I called my husband, and he was at work, and he was like, went into He-Man mode. He was like, wow. So I didn't even finish talking to him. He like hangs up the phone. He comes home. He comes home, and he goes, and he called the police, and police came, and I gave him a description of everything, and you know, and then we never saw him again. But I was so afraid to have my kids, you know, play outside again. But the police officer, the police people just kept going around the neighborhood for a good 2-3 months, I think, you know, just around there, because there was, you know, a lot of children in the area, but they were in school, you know, a little bit older than my daughter, but they were in school. And so they were like, I was like so scared, you know. So after a while, I started to, you know, go, I went outside with them all the time. I always went outside with my children all the time to play. If they wanted to play with their bikes or whatnot. You know, if they wanted to play in the backyard, that's fine. But if they wanted to ride their bikes, then they're going to have to, you know, wait for me. So, but wow, that's scary. So I told my daughter, I said, you better be safe. You better be careful with your kids, because they can, you know, people can grab them. You know, she went to Disneyland not too long ago, and she got my granddaughter one of those harnesses, you know, with a leash in the back, like a little backpack kind of thing. And I think it was a good idea, because she told me there was a few times where, you know, she was like run, you know, like would like something or run away or something, and you know, so it's like, oh, I'm glad, because she was like woo, that's scary. That would be scary. So anyways, you guys, have you guys ever gotten abducted like that before? That's actually happened to me twice. So that, yeah, the other time I was walking to school, and it was, I grew up in a really bad part of Phoenix where there was a lot of drugs and stuff, you know, a lot of drunks, and then I was like going to school, and somebody this guy was like I was like, so I started running. And that time I think I was 11 at the time. I think I was about 11. So I could run pretty fast because I was like this little skinny girl that could, I ran fast. I was a fast runner before now. So anyways, you guys, I think here I shall let you go. I hope you guys have a beautiful, colorful day. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and let me know what your thoughts are. If you've ever been through this before, if you, whatever. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Subscribe.